Currently in downtown Albuquerque, New Mexico, one of the more quieter downtowns that I've been to. This is what you would call, possibly anyways, the epicenter of nightlife in the city of Albuquerque. This is an area where a lot of people come to bars, they come to clubs. You got a lot of mentally ill, homeless people. Just had a nice little encounter with one. Too bad I didn't get that on video. So anyways, catty corner to me right here, that's the Kimo Theater. This is a very historic theater here in downtown Albuquerque. It's been around for many years. So usually a quiet area here for a downtown, but on January 26th, 2020, it really wasn't that quiet. So a little after 12:45 a.m., 911 receives a call of shots fired in the area. So you have Albuquerque police rolling up to the scene, and then they find a man right in front of this theater suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. His name was Philip Quintel, 35 years of age. He would be taken to the closest hospital where he would later end up losing his life. At that same time, detectives in the area find a man running into a bar. His name, Patrick Alvarado. He was the man that was described on a 911 call as possibly being the shooter. They hem him up here in one of these bars in the area, and when they put him in cuffs, they search him, and he tells them, "Hey, I have a gun in my back pocket," and they tell him to explain the situation. He said he was walking down the street right here, and that guy that he shot, Philip, he just came rushing at him out of nowhere, and so to defend himself, he pulls out a gun and shoots him. So originally, they didn't file any charges while, they were investigating the crime. So they probably got a bunch of surveillance video from these businesses in and around this block right here. And contradictory to Mr. Alvarado's statements, detectives looking at the video determined that Philip Quintel did not rush Patrick Alvarado. Now Quintel was with somebody, and it looked like they were kind of jawing back and forth between the two and Mr. Patrick Alvarado. However, they did not appear on the video to rush him or even to really make much of an effort to get close to him. Now, after a background investigation, it was determined that Patrick Alvarado, well, he was a prospect at the time of the Bandido's motorcycle club, and Philip Quintel, as far as I could tell, either he was a prospect or he was a supporter of the Mongols motorcycle club. Now, of course, you're going to have a lot of these incursions of rival motorcycle clubs coming into the territory of another. Now, New Mexico is Bandido's territory as far as I know, and the Mongols have been slowly coming into this area. I haven't heard anything yet if they've gone into Texas or Oklahoma yet, but if they do, boy, they are going to be some problems, to say the least. Now, Patrick ended up being arrested this past February and charged with an open count of murder against Philip Quintel. So it's going to be a while. It's going to be a few years before we find out exactly what takes place, whether they charge him with murder or the charge gets lowered to manslaughter, or who knows. It was 2 against 1. Possibly he felt threatened, and he wasn't going to let him get any closer than he already was. But at the end of the day, who really knows? Who really knows? This one right here is a pretty weird and strange story because I can't figure out why this happened. So we're going to go back to February 16th of 2019. Right in front of that Guthrie's Alley place is where we're going to go. So on that night, there was a bunch of people at that bar having a good old time. One of them was 32-year-old Michael Morales. They called him Mikey Smash. That was his nickname. He was an affiliate with the Hells Angels. And a couple of other guys, bikers as well, came to this establishment. Now, they're members of a club called the Devil's Disciples. Devil's Disciples have been around for quite some time. Now, they come into this bar, and I don't know why or how the fight started, but all of a sudden, and this is according to court testimony and eyewitnesses that Michael Morales had picked up a bar stool and chucked it at one of the members of the Devil's Disciples. And in turn, him defending himself, one Russell Vanoy, 60 years of age, pulls out a knife and stabs Mr. Morales, I believe somewhere in the abdomen. And Michael comes running out of this bar right here, and he goes running right in front of that corner right there. That's the I bar, right next to a tattoo place. So he didn't make it very far. I want to say he made it only maybe 60 feet at best, and he would collapse right there where that motorcycle is. So about a month later, Russell Vanoy would end up being arrested down in Bellflower, California, which is right next to Los Angeles, about 100 or so miles from here. And he would be charged with the murder of Michael Morales, him and alongside with his friend, Jared Davidson. However, during the preliminary investigation in the court, the judge, looking at the evidence, decided that Mr. Vanoy should not be held for murder, but he should be held for voluntary manslaughter. Now, Russell Vanoy has a bit of a checkered past, and he was facing life in prison because he has previous strikes. But the judge is looking at that case, and according to the court paperwork, there was surveillance video of Michael Morales supposedly being the aggressor in the fight, and he picks up the bar stool and chucks it at Russell Vanoy. And while that happens, a gun, clearly on the video, falls out of the pants that Michael Morales is wearing, and that's when Russell stabbed him. Now, eventually, Russell Vanoy would plead no contest to voluntary manslaughter, and he would be sentenced to 6 years in prison. Now, here's the part of the story that I don't understand, because all the time, not all the time, but a lot of times you see motorcycle clubs running into each other, and you know, one guy has had too much to drink and starts jawing off, you know, take your colors off or this or that. What I don't understand is the Devil's Disciples and the Hells Angels, they don't have any beefs that I know about anyways. I don't know if they get along per se, but they don't have any rivalries. And another thing, it's also shown on the surveillance tape that the another member of the Hells Angels was there, and he shook the hands of one of the Devil's Disciples. I think he shook the hand of Russell Vanoy. So they're coming into the bar and everything is all good. So I don't know if Mr. Morales had a little bit too much to drink, or Mr. Vanoy had a little bit too much to drink and he said something. I mean, people are gonna talk. So for all I know, somebody said something and somebody took exception to it, and then a fight broke out. You know, Russell Vanoy, he is 60 years of age. That's not old though. So if you're fighting someone, you know, half your age, they're gonna always have the advantage. So I have no idea. Just a very, very odd story. So rest in peace to the man who was stabbed to death. I mean, just a senseless crime that didn't need to happen. You know, this is what happens sometimes when, you know, alcohol is mixed with adrenaline and machismo, or whatever you want to call it. So, all right, guys, I'm out of here. I'm hitting the road. We're going to Las Vegas. Got some stories to cover about some motorcycle clubs over there, and you pretty much know which one that is. So I will see you later. Be good, y'all. Peace out.